What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here in the channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by two things. Since we don't do any sponsorships here on the channel, I'll show them out real quick. The first is my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name After Sound, and the second is a new podcast I just launched called Chasing Infinity. Links in the description below. Check them out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, we have another Land 1.75 update. Now, Cryptomancer does these weekly. I've missed the last couple. I don't know what I was doing, but here is the last one that he's going to have for a while. So I guess I'll just keep doing these on a monthly basis rather than a weekly basis because I missed the previous ones, but it doesn't seem like there was as much. This time around, he gave us, well, quite a bit of information here in terms of what he's worked on, in terms of where he's at and what he's currently working on, and then, of course, what is to come along with I guess a well-deserved vacation from Cryptomancer. So you can see here, let's actually jump to the graphic first because I think this will help. So I believe we had all of these done already in November, right? So if we consider this like the December update, you can see here that he's completely done with LPs. He's completely done with tracking fees from the liquidity positions. Those were like the big things that he had to do last time. And he's also gotten started on the resource to resources swaps in one transaction. So if you want to go from wood to grain or grain to wood or iron to stone, whatever it is, you can do that all in one go rather than having it be something that rather than having it be two separate transactions that you manually need to do. So what that leaves for us, right, is for him to finish this, the resource swaps in one transaction. And then this part here, which I don't know how to quantify, and Cryptomancer didn't really leave us much insight into how like we can quantify this time outside of the fact that he's still expecting a Q1 delivery, but I'll get more into that later. So, you know, wood, stone, and iron as SPS and research inputs. So obviously we want to make sure that all resources are used or having some kind of utility once we get them up and going. Otherwise, what's the point, right? We'll just start stacking stone for no reason if it's not going to be used. So I would say that hopefully this is something maybe that the team just needs to iron out from a conceptual standpoint, right, from a design standpoint, and then he just needs to go in and enter in the numbers. Again, I don't know how long that's going to take, but I imagine it would take some dev work because it's not just flipping numbers around. And now instead of harvesting for, you know, SPS or, you know, mining for SPS, you wouldn't need just grain. It's going to cost you some of the others. But again, we'll see where things are at. And then, of course, the stuff that's for phase 2, again, I think he still thinks that this stuff is going to come out in Q1, but I'm just not even going to touch this right now because this phase 1 stuff is more important. And hopefully they'll get that out, you know, without having to wait for the phase 2 aspect. So let's jump in now to the text that he wrote here. So he says, this is this week's land update. The overall progress towards land 1.75 is shown in the picture below that we just looked at. And then the following has been done since my last update. So again, keep in mind, this is over the past week, not necessarily the past month from my last video. So finish the back end refactoring of how internal account balances are handled in order to support SPS validators. So it's good that we're going to have that aligned. This bit of work will be included in our last release of the year on December 10th of 2024, and will have no player-facing impact. So this is just something on the back end. They fixed a trade hub withdrawal fee calculation, a bug that was reported by Vuctus. They fixed some bad math on the front end that reported incorrect withdrawal estimates. Fixed back-end math that was incorrectly applying the withdrawal fee to free shares rather than taxed shares. Fixed another rounding corner case bug in swap fee calculations. That's a lot to say. This was reported by Antioch. And then deed card image fixes, prepared and uploaded fixed art to AWS after Creative added bubble to underwater build deed backgrounds. Man, there's a lot here. Okay. And then began work on direct resource to resource swaps, which is the last remaining piece of the work for the land 1.75 trade up. Again, keep in mind, that's just this circle here. So here's where we're at with the main 3 features. Again, we already know that, so they knocked out the first 2. Now, what he says here is that this will be my last land update of the year. From tomorrow, and this is posted, at least for me, on the 5th of, let me double check. On the 5th, so I'm like 2 days behind this. On the 5th of December, so he's saying here, from tomorrow, I will be on vacation, traveling back to the U.S. to spend Christmas and New Year's with my stateside family. My first working day of 2025 will be January 13th. So this is like over a month away. It's like 5 weeks. While away, I may pop into Discord from time to time to see what's going on, but I will mostly be unresponsive to any DMs, pings, or questions sent my way. Note that I will not charge the DAO for time off, and the Q1 2025 release estimate for land 1.75 already takes my vacation into account. I mentioned that earlier. I hope you all have a wonderful, relaxing, and peaceful end to the year. Merry Christmas to those of you who celebrate, and best wishes for a happy new year. See y'all in 2025. It's going to be a great year for us. So, best of luck to Cryptomancer. Safe travels. Hope all is well, and happy new year. For us, though, that have to sit here over the next month and wonder what's going to happen with land, I would say that obviously it's reassuring that Cryptomancer is saying they're still shooting for a 2020 Q1 release, right? This is the one that is not I don't trust, and I'm not taking a dig at Cryptomancer or anything. Like, land just has a history of not getting out on time. And it's not because like the devs aren't working hard enough. It's not because they're just trying to delay it. From everything I saw in 2023 when they were trying to get Land 1.5 out, it's just bugs left and right, unexpected things, right? Because it's just so massive of a project. It's sprawling. It touches so many different things. So again, I think Cryptomancer probably knows that he's going to be able to get all this stuff done, but how much time are they leaving for bug fixes, right? And then how long is it going to take to identify the bugs, to fix the bugs, right? We want to make sure when this launches, we don't have a situation similar to what we had with the voucher LP going live, right? That would be terrible. So, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, good. We're still planning for a Q1 2025 release estimate for Land 1.75. I believe he's thinking like this is phase 1 and phase 2. But again, if they can just get phase 1 out before March 31st of next year, which would be the last day of Q1, I'll be happy. If phase 2 comes out, that's even better, right? But considering how much work still needs to be done and the fact that he's not going to be back in office, right, until January 13th, that's mid-January already. Sure, he's got a couple of weeks, maybe, we'll call it like 2.5 weeks in January, and then so I don't think this is coming out in January. Let's put it that way. February was the earliest that I could see, but I'm sure it would probably be him needing to finish things, right? Maybe it'll take him a couple of weeks to finish things, and then a couple of weeks for the team to do some bug testing. So the earliest, once again, I can see this coming out is like mid to late February, and that's the earliest, right? Most likely it might end up being March, which is where we get into what I was talking about earlier. Like, is this going to end up clashing with the pre-sale, right, and the hype around Conclave Arcana? Now, again, the team has been able to release a bunch of things one after the other in the past. I don't know if that's the way that they like to do things. I would imagine it's not, just in case something hits the fan. You just want to be able to put all hands on deck to put the fire out rather than having a bunch of different fires every week. So, my hope is that the way that he's mapping this out, maybe he's very close to being done with the resource-to-resource swaps and the wood, stone, iron, SPS research inputs. All that stuff is going to be something that won't take very long once the design is complete. And maybe they do get this out by the end of February of next year, which is, again, that is my optimistic timeline, but that's really the earliest time, right? Mid to late February. And if I'm looking once again, I know I'm doing this off screen, but so we have January 7th, I believe, is the next update. In fact, you know what? Since we're here, let's go ahead and, we could probably open it up here. So let's view all future events. So there you go. January 7th is the first update of the year, or at least what they have planned, right? They're not doing anything on the 24th. Then January 21st, then February 4th. From there, it's going to be the February 18th, right? So maybe that's the window. So there you have it. February 18th would be the earliest that I would expect anything from Land. And then, of course, you're going to have 2 windows in March, March 4th and March 18th as well. So, we shall see how things go. But it's, like I said, I'm being cynical because Land has just been that monkey on our back for so long. And it's continued to be this entire year, right? We were expecting so much more from Land, and now it's like, okay, now we're gonna put it in Q1 with a bunch of other things, which, again, I'm excited for all of this stuff, but I do get nervous about release dates. But it's Cryptomancer. I know he's got a good finger on the pulse of what's going on. If he's confident that he could do it, then my guess is that the earliest we see it is February 18th. Again, I'm sure the team has some kind of internal timeline that they're working with. I don't know. I haven't seen any such thing. But as we've talked about previously, with all of the things that they're trying to ship next year, especially in Q1, I think there's 6 major things. If you look at it, there's 6 release windows in Q1, which means they would have to ship something every one of those weekends. And maybe I'll do a separate video on that where we can kind of map things out and kind of do a little matching game to see which one is which. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but this is your Land 1.75 December 2024 update. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.